All right, YouTube fans out there and music fans out there. True music, the best music we talk on this channel, always. So we got some unfortunate news. I got two stories to tell you. We just lost the original drummer of AC/DC, has just passed away. His name was Colin. I forget to pronounce his last name, but because it's kind of hard for me. I can't really pronounce that name correctly, but yes, his name was Colin. It's kind of the same last name as like what it was, the House of Virginia, that back in the 1700s, that was in colonial Virginia, that Washington worked on for the government or something. Yeah, it's spelled kind of like that. I don't know what exactly how to pronounce the drummer's name, and I'm not going to try to because I don't want to speak wrong and then someone tells me that's not how you say it in my comments. So I just wanted to say I know his name's Colin. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to pronounce it. So to prevent anybody commenting to me saying that's not how you pronounce his last name, I'm not gonna say the last name. I'm just gonna say his name is Colin because that is his name. And he sadly died. Yeah, at age 77, which is really a shame. Also, in music news, radio business wise, there was just an article that broke from Radio Insight that if you all know who my favorite radio hero of New York radio called Scott Shannon, last year he retired from mornings on WCBS FM 101.1 WCBS FM New York, my favorite New York station, the legendary New York's greatest hit station. He will also doing this show that was tributed to Casey Kasem called America's Greatest Hits. He's been doing since 2014. And now, unfortunately, that show is coming to a conclusion where they're gonna starting on the weekend of December 31st. If you hear his show on your stations in your country, that because they're on all the Odyssey greatest hit stations around the country, like our friends at the legendary KRF 101, the legendary Sunny 98.1, our Philly legendary station, our friends at 98.1 WGL, all over the country. Sunny 102.5, 92.5 or something like that. 105.9, Sunny 105.9. Like all those stations around the country that are greatest hits format of all of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Scott Shannon did a show called America's Greatest Hits, which was similar to the show that Casey Kasem used to do, America's Top 40. He's ending that show, but that show will start to replay episodes after the weekend of December 31st. But going into January, Gary Bryan, the morning show host of the legendary KRF 101 Los Angeles, where my radio hero, the real Don Steele, used to work back in the day too. Gary Bryan will be taking over temporary as a substitute for a new show that's similar to what it is. He'll be substituting in for until they find a new show to fully take over America's Greatest Hits. So for now, you'll be hearing repeated episodes of America's Greatest Hits until about January time, and then that's when we're gonna hear like the Gary Bryan in show. I forget what they're calling it. He said it's something rewind, something rewind, not what you think on Sirius XM. It's something else. It's something rewind. I forget, something Productions Rewind or something is what it's gonna be called. And yeah, it's sad to hear that Scott Shannon's ending his America's Greatest Hits show a year after he retired from CBS FM morning show. So, yeah, it is unfortunate. I mean, and he sold his True Oldies channel to national radio networks or something. So if you also know the True Oldies channel that was started by Scott Shannon, also very interesting. But besides that, that's all my radio news and also my music news for you guys. If you have any other stories you want me to talk about, please hit the subscribe button. We'll talk later and let me know in the comments below. Talk to you later.